Right, let's get this show on the road. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Bradford City vs Man City Under-21s pre-match chat, and basically any other Bradford City related stuff. So, right, how's this work? Right, you've requested. So, let's see if... Oh, welcome, Diane, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And if you want to say anything, get off your chest. Oops, connecting. I think this is going to be fun. I think it's struggling to connect a little bit. It's thinking about it. So while that's trying to connect, Diana, if you want to send another one, put you through. So with Bradford City playing Man City Under-21s tomorrow, by all accounts, if Bradford City win, they go through. Let's try this again. So hopefully, Diane, this will go through. Fingers crossed it'll connect. It's thinking about it. Struggling, I think, a little bit to get through to you today. So we've got a few familiar faces in. We've got Stan and Diane and Jamie. And what's your thoughts on the game at Mr. Stan?
Tomorrow, yeah, I don't know really. I think we've got to put a few of the first teamers in, kind of try and get some sort of a swing the momentum back in terms of after Saturday's game. So I would say a fullish side, rest some players, rest Lewis. I'd have a look at maybe just bringing this lad Tomkinson in, and just kind of trying something different. I think some people need dropping, and some people maybe just need sort of resting or wrapping up in cotton wool. What's your thoughts, everyone?
I think we're having our Diana's trying to join, but she's struggling to get through today. So I don't know if it's my end or her end.
Yeah, I was struggling to hear you yesterday on the League 2606.
Yeah, we struggled. Here we go. I think it might be going through. I've invited you, Diana. Is it gone through? Try to invite you again. I think she's struggling to get in. So yesterday, obviously, when I spoke to you on Saturday, it was Saturday, wasn't it, when I tried to speak to you?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I think we might have Diane here.
Yes.
Can you hear us, Diane?
You're on mute at the moment, Diane.
Is it Diana or Diana? If I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
You're on mute, Diane. If you want to give us your opinion, what's your thoughts on the game for tomorrow?
I think, yeah. Is she getting through? I don't know. I'll just message her.
She's as a speaker, but she's got like the mic on mute. So
I'll just quick. She's liked it, so she must be. Diane, if you can hear me, you have to unmute yourself, love.
There'll be a microphone icon probably at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, well, it's got at the bottom, it's got mic. It should say mic is off, but if you click mic or click that, it should change to mic is on. Your mic is muted. Right. Right, well, she sorts it out, Stan. So back to your question you asked me before. I hope we play a full strength team tomorrow, because if we win, we go through.
Right. Okay. I think, yeah. From my point of view, is just basically whether they're cup games or not. Is play either a near full strength in terms of Saturday from Saturday, maybe with the odd change, because obviously you just need to get into the habit of winning again. And so, yes, there's a part of probably most fans that is not too bothered for this competition, but at the same time, it's kind of like a chance for fringe players to get some game time. That's one thing that Parky was good at, was bringing in the odd player in for certain games to kind of get them up to match speed. And so, you know, if you're kind of expecting fringe players to come in cold and suddenly have form, that is obviously isn't going to help. So I'd like to see, I'd say like a 3/4 sort of full first team and 2 or 3 sort of fringe players come in. But yeah, getting a win would be good for morale, I think, as well.
So looking at the Northern Group F, we're in. Barnsley are top. They've played 2, won 2. Got 6 points. Bradford have played 1, won 1, 3 points. Man City Academy have played 2, drawn 1, lost 1. And then the Grimsby are at the bottom, and Grimsby are now knocked out. So
Right.
they can't go any further through the proceed. Oh, again.
Sorry, Johnny. Grimsby playing. Who are Grimsby playing tonight? And have they played? Is it just our fixture tonight, or are there any others in the group?
So
Grimsby
Grimsby don't play now. They're knocked out completely.
Right. Okay.
So Diana, you should be able to hear us now and speak.
I can finally.
Hooray! We're through.
Yeah, I've had to go on my phone.
Oh, welcome, Diana. Diane,
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
what's your thoughts on the game tomorrow? And are you going tomorrow?
Of course, I'm going tomorrow. Even though it'll be cold, of course I'm going. Gets me out of the house. Won't have any kids knocking on my door then for trick or treat.
Aye.
Always a good excuse, that.
Oh yeah, it's always a good excuse to go see Harry Lewis, but never mind that.
Yeah.
But I think we'll beat them.
What do you think? What's your thoughts on Harry Lewis this season then?
He's having bad games.
And what do you think is the reason for that?
I don't know. Literally, I just don't know what the reason is for him, because he does have his good games, he has his bad games.
Yeah, I mean, he had a phenomenal season last season. Do you think it's a case of, because really last season were his full first season, and obviously he's not a sort of teenager anymore. Do you think it's a case of a hangover from last year, or do you think it's one of these things that, especially when players play the first season, then they find it difficult in the second season because obviously things don't go the way? What do you think? What do you think it could be?
I think it's because he had a good season last season. He thought he had to carry on, but he'll get there. He'll keep it. I love it when he keeps his clean sheets, because you always get his smile.
Yes. I mean, he's a brilliant keeper, so I've no problem with him. Do you think over the summer, do you think that the change in personnel or that might have just, before the defence settled down, might have kind of unsettled the whole defensive unit as a whole, or do you think it was just kind of the team kind of getting up to speed both in fitness and personnel? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is getting up to fitness and personnel, because obviously if you lose some players that you've played where last season and everything, and you've got new players to play where, And I think it might not have helped with all that rumour about Barnsley coming in for him and everything. Do you like it pre-season?
Yeah, so the distraction, obviously, and for any kind of player, that must be difficult to kind of get over. But do you think he should play tomorrow, or do you think he should be rested?
I'm not 100% sure. If he plays, it'll be good. But he could do with the rest, because obviously we've got Wickham on Saturday as well in FA Cup. So if he rests him, it might be good for him. But then again, who's going to have, if Colin Doyle goes in, who's going to be on the bench?
Well, I would imagine Harry Lewis would be on the bench.
Yeah. Because obviously Richardson's gone to Park Avenue on loan, hasn't he? So
that's right. Yeah.
Have you got any thoughts, Raj?
Tomorrow's game. Looking forward to it. It's the game at home. So people call it the pizza competition, but for me, it's about progression. If we win tomorrow, we'll get through to the knockout stage. So looking forward to it. I'll be there. All being well, weather permitted. So thoughts about tomorrow's game. I'd like to see Colin Doyle play tomorrow, because he's only made one appearance since he's come to the club as a coach. So it'd be just nice for him to get another game under his belt. And obviously he had a great spell with us in his first spell, so he's player coach, but it's just nice for him to get a game tomorrow and give a few of the others a chance, a few of the younger lads. As for being on the bench, I think it'll be the other kid who was in the first team, the other day, and he travelled with the first team squad. He'll probably make the bench tomorrow.
Who's that? The goalkeeper? Or?
It was
the young goalkeeper. He was in the squad under 18 player the other day. He was part of the first team squad.
Right.
He travelled, I think. So I'd imagine he'll be on the bench.
So do you think tomorrow's a good chance for the team from Saturday to basically get back to winning ways, or do you think?
I feel that he's only gonna play about 6 or 7 of them, and then play like some of the other ones who haven't had any game time this season. Maybe like off the bench, some of the ones that need some game time. So he won't play. He'll play a strongish team, but he won't play like your Andy Cooks and that. He'll probably play like Tyler Smith tomorrow and mix it up a bit, because obviously Wickham is the bigger game on the weekend, because obviously it's FA Cup and we want to try and progress in that to get to round 3 or something to get a bigger club. So he'll mix it up, but he'll play some of the first teamers, maybe like Kieran Kelly, players like that who played at Grimsby. He had a mixed team out, so it'll be more or less the same, more seniors, and then maybe even the young lad Jeffries might get some game time again, like he did against Grimsby. So he'll mix it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll probably play about like a 2/3, 3/4 of a sort of first team and put in. I did like the lad Freddie Jeffries. He looked good. He looked good. Yeah. Do you know the thing I've noticed from the latest crop of youngsters that have come in, and obviously we've got Bobby, but that they actually seem very good on the ball, very good technically, and obviously where the careers go depend on many factors. But so
seems like our academy is producing some talent. I think that's what you want to say. We're getting there now, slowly, like molding these players.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we haven't had many come through since Matt Burney, have we? Let's be honest.
Not really. No, I mean, I think the young lads, Cousin Dawson, and
he's good. Yeah,
but he kind of,
and anyone else?
Who was the other lad who kind of played as a number 10 sort of thing? Had a good pre-season last season, but when it comes to
not Kieran Scales.
No. Kieran Scales, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, Kieran Scales, he's at Scunny now, Scunthorpe, yeah. He was good. He played during the COVID season, he played a few games here and there, didn't he?
He did. Do you think that the current crop, obviously including Bobby and the Freddie, are actually better players?
Definitely. They've improved a lot. You can see that. Also, I know Clayton Donaldson, he's my friend. I've known him, grown up with him. And he said we've got another young lad called Isaac Robinson on loan at Farsley, and he's very talented as well. He's another one to look out for the future, currently on loan at Farsley.
That sounds good. So it sounds like, obviously, Bobby's loan spells last season at, was it Brighouse? And did he go to then Ossett or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, Ossett. It was Ossett.
Because I think they pulled him out.
They've moulded him, haven't they?
The what, sorry?
They've moulded him into more of a man, and he's now playing with great confidence, and them loan spells have done him the world of good. That's why he's the player he is today.
That's right. I think the first loan he wasn't getting any game time, so they moved him to Osset, I think it was, and that's where he excelled because he actually got a lot more game time. And did you see his interview about the boxing, how that kind of moulded his playing?
I've seen some snippets of it, but I didn't listen to it. Normally I do listen to the press conferences and stuff, before the game, but I was a bit busy. But I've seen that he could have gone boxing.
That's right, yeah. So I mean, something like boxing is fantastic for young men or for young women, young girls.
It's probably more easier to make it in the boxing game than the professional football game.
Well, I think it instills such discipline, any kind of martial art, etc. It kind of adds that discipline. And
Stanislas, if I'm right, is Bobby Poynton out of contract at the end of the season as it stands?
I've heard that, yeah. I've heard that.
Yes, he only signed a 1-year deal, so they need to sort out this new contract.
Yeah, I think they need to do that.
From what I know, they haven't put anything else on the table. They only give him a 1 year in the summer.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So they better get that sorted because don't be surprised if clubs are looking at him in League 2, League 1.
Yeah.
He's had a good start to the season as well. And I could tell with Bobby Poynton, I went to Bury away game. It was Bury's first game back at Gig Lane in 4 years, which was nice to see after another traditional club. And when Bobby come on in that game, he got an assist and he was playing very well. And you could see in the warm-up and the hunger. And then after that game, I thought this guy's going to be part of the 18-man squad. Not only has he become part of the 18-man squad, he's become a first-team regular, and it's amazing progression. And to see a kid from the age of 5 supporting the club that he's loved, and now he's playing for me as a fan, that's a dream come true. Being a Bradford fan for over 25 years, to see a lad like that and the passion and the desire and the hunger, and long may it continue. And I love the guy. He's brilliant.
It's amazing to see, and you cannot help but love the guy because he's such a nice kid,
humble kid,
very very humble, very hardworking. That credit to himself and his parents and his family and the people around him. I actually remember seeing Bobby Poynton come on. I think it was either 2 or 3 seasons ago in this cup.
Okay,
and I can't remember who it was against. He was one of the Premier League sides, and he put a maybe 10-15 minute cameo, and you kind of thought, oh yeah, this lad, he can say something, and I think he kind of, if I remember correctly, he sort of made a swing for a ball and missed, but everybody just loved his enthusiasm, and it's great to see somebody like that come through.
And when he wears a shirt, he's going to give 150%, not only 100%. Well, and that's what raises the fans. It gets us off our seats.
I've said this. I've said for a little while, but I'll kind of say it for those who haven't heard it. Bobby is the only person allowed to badge kiss a badge, because when players do that, I mean, some may be genuine, but I do feel it's a little kind of
OTT.
Well, it's kind of like, but then in the next transfer window they're out. But I think Bobby's a genuine City fan, so he's the only one who's allowed to kiss the badge. For me, I mean, it's a silly little point, really. But so with regards to that, and I'll open this up to Diane as well, Raj and Diane, in terms of. What do you think then for Saturday? How do you think we're likely to have anyone in place, or has been suggested in the rumour mill that perhaps the kind of maybe there's a takeover going on, because there's been absolute silence from the club.
When did Matt Hughes leave? What day was it? Do you remember? I can't remember.
It was 3rd of October. It was 4th of October.
Yeah.
So we're 4 weeks in, Diane, now, basically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumours being going about with this Dean Holden. Is there any truth in that? You guys, anything know what I've known? I've tried to do more reading.
I've heard that, Dean Holden.
Rumours of...
I'm not an in-the-know person, so I'm going off the same as you guys.
There's rumours of him going somewhere else, apparently.
Bristol Rovers have been linked with him today as well, Johnny.
Yeah, I saw that on social media earlier.
I think there's a lot of it's down to their agents that are basically talking their clients into a job.
Dean Holden, obviously, I remember I've watched football over 30 years and I know my football. Dean Holden was a good player at Oldham as a captain. I remember him being a right back. He played against City a few times in the Windass days. And then obviously he got a coaching opportunity at Bristol City recently and Charlton, and I think he's been an assistant at Stoke. So he's got a decent record, but he's ended up getting sacked by all three clubs. But he isn't a bad manager from what I've been told. But whoever does come in, we just need to get behind him, whether it's Dean Holden. David Artell's name's been bandied about again today, the guy who's at Crewe. So I don't know. And then the Cowley brothers. If you guys had a choice right now, Diana, including yourself, would you have anyone in particular you'd love to have at the club if you had a choice, Diane?
I'm not quite sure. It's just somebody that you need somebody. But like we've heard that it's the rumours are Dean Holden, but I've been getting at work, you're getting the Cowley brothers in. I went, I don't know.
Yeah. And what, you, Stanislas, is anything you've heard about the Cowley brothers?
I haven't heard anything. I think, it's kind of... again, I've said this recently, I don't really know who I'm fussed for, because ultimately a lot of these managers are out of work. They've got sacked from somewhere. Now, at a certain point in a managerial tenure, results start to go or wherever, and they get sacked over a period. And there's various reasons as to why this happens. And we've tried basically people with a track record of getting us out of this division. We've tried, with the Sellers and Truman and Sellers, and
we've tried experience as well.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's less about that. It's about the squad of players we've put together. And his squad for me is good enough to get out of this division.
100%.
But
just needs to gel.
So for me, and again, just reiterating what I've said on other forums, etc. I think we need somebody to come in that's going to implement it's going to be more an evolution rather than a revolution, because the players can play in a certain way, and the thing is, what we don't want is somebody to totally drastically change the playing style and not have the personnel to utilise that style.
I think, Stan, what you're saying there is whoever does come in, there's a foundation there to be built on, a couple of slight tweaks here and there, and it could be a successful season. We could still end up getting the playoffs, given a good run. We're only 6 points off them. I'm not saying that it's not a foregone conclusion, but if a man comes in, who knows what can happen in football? It's a beautiful game, isn't it? Roy Keane did it many years ago. He was third from bottom with Sunderland. Went up, didn't he? Many years ago. Yeah. You don't know in football. Just takes that little run before you know it, the confidence starts breeding to it. So
there are so many games to play. You can easily turn.
Well, we're in 16 games into the season, are we? Yeah. We've still got 30 games left.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's running away with it. Stockport look okay so far. Yeah, they're doing well, but no one else apart from that is really running away with it. Apart from Stockport are running away a little bit, but not too much. But yeah,
it's anybody's league at the moment.
Yeah,
anybody can go up.
Dan, like you say, a good run of games, and we can especially with our crowd and our fan base. Get behind our players. We're like the 12th man at Valley Parade. Everyone knows that. So, like you say, let's just hope we can get a gaffer in.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy if we can get to the playoffs.
Because people are saying, what about Joey Barton? Because he's been sacked, hasn't he?
I'd take him all day long. He's another one who's got promotion under his belt.
Yeah.
He was at Bristol Rovers for 2 years, wasn't he?
I'll put this out to you just based. I'll pick up on something you said, Raj, and I'll put this out to Diane and anyone else who wishes to come in. You say the fans are a 12th man, but do you think there also can be an albatross around the manager's neck?
You mean as in like getting on his back if things are not going
well?
Yeah, and there can be. Look at what's happened to Matt Hughes. They loved him for so long, and then there was one game after the whistle where they started booing and they're saying Hughes F off, blah blah blah, and it's so toxic. So it was one of them recent home games that they lost.
And plus as well, they were like that at Tranmere.
Well, I didn't.
Do you know?
Yeah,
the thing for me at Tranmere, I thought we played one of the best games we had all season.
Yeah,
and we were very unlucky.
Yeah.
For me, it was.
Was that the one where Walker hit the bar as well? He did.
Yes, we could have. A Harry Lewis mistake. You can't legislate for that.
No.
Not blaming the lad, obviously the players make mistakes, but in terms of what we deserve to get out of the game. Also, as well, I think, I don't know if you guys went to the Crawley game at the start of the season, but I sense there was an atmosphere there, and it was toxic. It was toxic at Morecambe, and the Morecambe result, I was less bothered about how bad we played, because the team can play badly. It was more about the atmosphere and the toxicity amongst the fan base. There were people squaring up to each other, spitting on each other, threatening each other. At the Crawley game, I mean, bear in mind this was the first game of the season. There were people, I'm obviously talking Bradford City fans, pretty much almost scrapping with each other. And it's like, I feel that there's a massive hangover from the Carlisle game, and it's one of a few things, but I think probably that the City fans almost feel like they've been betrayed by the team, by Hughes, and they haven't forgiven them for that. Also, do you feel, if that is the case, or if that's, whether you agree with that, do you think as well whether the players maybe lost a bit of faith in Hughes from that game for this season?
It's quite
and that's open to both of you.
I think that it's quite possible that could well have been the case. Sometimes the stage out there when the manager's lost the dressing room, he's kind of on his last legs, and that happened with the last one before Mark Hughes as well. So I kind of agree there that that's what possibly would have been the case.
I can understand with Derek Adams, because Derek
Adams, when that was the gaffer. Yeah, sorry.
Derek Adams is a very odd character.
He is.
I can imagine that, but Hughes is very much. I would say Hughes was a very measured person.
You got to remember as well, like a lot of people slate Mark Hughes and that, he had the big budgets, this and that. Budgets mean nothing in this day and age. You only look at what Stevenage went and did in this division. They had one of the lowest budgets and still went up.
Yep.
You got to remember as well, guys, like, look, Mark Hughes, for me, I'd say, you know what, Mark Hughes, I'm just going to hit this on the nail. People might say what they want to say. He did a decent job for me because he achieved our first playoff position in like 4 or 5 years. Since 2017, we hadn't reached the playoffs, So that was our first playoff position in 6 years. So for me, that was still a decent success. It wasn't all doom and gloom, but he did okay in his time at Bradford City. He secured the playoffs. People can talk about that substitution, whatever happened with Banks and the right back who came on when Banks went off. But that's football. Sometimes you take a risk to be brave, and he tried to do that by shutting up shop.
I agree. I think people are basing... Well, maybe some people, maybe not, because once people get an opinion of a person and a manager, but I think people are basing a lot of venting a lot based on that Carlisle game. And
they are.
The interesting comment, you said you were at Bury. I watched it live on YouTube, and the interesting comment from one of their commentators, who's like one of their summarising experts, he said that he thought Bradford were the better side over 2 legs against Carlisle, which is interesting because we've watched it through our own claret and amber spectacles, tinted glasses, and so for somebody neutral to make that observation, I found that interesting. Looking back, if you can kind of remember and think objectively, do you think we're the better side of the 2 legs or not?
I don't think we were. First leg we did okay. Then second leg against Carlisle, I think we just fell to pieces. And Mark Hughes didn't really recover from that. And people get on his back. Like, look on social media now. There's so much diss and negative about the club on social media at the minute, on the hashtag especially.
It's poisonous.
Yeah, I can see all that.
They're absolutely ripping it apart on the hashtag right now.
I feel that in the first game against Carlisle, the first half, I thought we absolutely dominated them. We played some really good football, but they came back in the second half. But you kind of think, well, people saying we were poor, but don't forget, Carlisle were in the playoff spot as well. We weren't playing some mid-table with nothing to play for. We were playing a team that basically were up there and thereabouts, and a decent side at that level. I mean, the second leg as under par as some of players that have been brilliant all season were that day, we still could have won that game.
Do you know what happened in the first leg? We held out because Carlisle did well against us. We got a goal against the run of play. You know, the second leg when we went to Brunton Park, we sat back too deep and we invited them onto us. And when you let Owen Moxon and guys like that dictate the game, especially the guy Callum Guy in the midfield, we were asking for trouble, and that's what was our downfall. Being honest, we should have took the game to them on the day. We sat back too deep at times.
Is that down to the fact that
we were scared?
1-0 is a very difficult sort of
holding on. Yeah, try to get a 0-0 or a 1-1. That's what I think we were trying to do.
Well, I think what it is, though, is do you think it could be the fact that it's a dangerous scoreline to be defending in terms of from the first leg, because Carlisle had nothing to lose that day.
Carlisle's home record was good as well. I think they'd only lost two games. I think Stevenage was one of them who'd beat them there, and Richie Wellings, his Leighton Orient, I think was the other. Or I think only Richard Wellings, his Leighton Orient, had beaten them there. He was saying in the studio that day they'd only lost one or two all season at home. Carlisle, and they were one of the best sides at home, and it's like a fortress Brunton Park because the crowd are like a 12-man there for them. You know? So
in that context, the fact that Carlisle had only lost twice all season at home. Record crowd for them.
Was it 8.5 they got that day?
It was about 15, but obviously they clearly were getting like at best 6,000-7,000. I think off the top of my head. Yeah. But given that, it may have been better if we'd have played the first leg at Carlisle. It would suggest then that perhaps the second leg, as disappointing and as under par as we were, there's also an element of Carlisle probably had one of their best games of the season, or best, kind of performances, if you like, to kind of dig that out. And the one thing I remember from that game, or one of the few things I remember from that game, was I don't know if it was in normal time or just extra. I think it was in normal time, and Richie Smallwood was just. He got the ball and squared it. He squared it and knocked it over to nobody, and kind of in the opposite way
kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, in the opposite way to Tony McMahon at Wembley, maybe he should have actually had a shot.
Have you got your thoughts on this, Callie, or anything, Carlisle game?
I just don't think we were up for it that day. We were for the first leg, and you could tell the difference. Even in the crowd, you could tell the difference.
Oh, shit. Sorry, press wrong button. Oh, sorry.
Didn't want you to talk, Callie, did I?
Mute me?
By accident, I clicked I meant to mute my own, but I muted everybody. So come on, Callie.
Hi, Diane. Glad you got it sorted, by the way.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, finally.
Yeah, I think for the first leg of the playoff, we were proper up for it. Second leg, we didn't turn up, did we, at all? And even in the crowd, you could sense it wasn't right. I mean, I were there that day, and you just sensed it wasn't our day. And I don't know if anybody else can kind of sense that kind of thing when you're at a game.
Did you not think, though, that it was a natural nervousness because you've only got a 1-0 lead? Because I remember seeing a couple of people that I knew in the at the tea bar or whatever before the game, and I was calm, and I think he was calm as well, and I think that the team were calm. I think that they felt like there was a calmness from the camp that week, and yeah, the Carlisle manager, I can't remember, but he was doing all the interviews, and he was kind of motivating or giving motivational interviews kind of thing. So maybe not so much they were up for it or we weren't up for it. I think perhaps we were too maybe just nerves got the better of us on the day.
Yeah, but we didn't go in attack. From what I remember of that game, we didn't really go in guns blazing, did we? We didn't, even though we had a 1-0 lead, we didn't go in fully attacking the game. That's what I remember anyway. I don't think we did.
So Alex is commented saying we set up too defensively.
Yeah, we sat back. But we always do, don't we? With one goal, we don't ever seem to have a big goal lead as such, do we? And we get scared, don't we, as Bradford City fans, if we're only 1-0 up. We don't feel comfortable, do we? Ever.
I think that's the point I was making, though. It's a very dangerous scoreline to be only 1-0 up. And if we'd have been Peterborough, you just think of Peterborough, though, they were 4-0 up.
True.
I think it's a difficult scoreline, or any game where there's just the one goal in it, because you've not got enough daylight between yourself and the other team. And I think there was probably an element of nerves on our part, perhaps.
Yeah, I
agree as Raj said, the manager makes mistakes, in terms of because you look at that and he brought Platt on, but if Harry Lewis doesn't make that error when the ball goes up and he's expecting to just catch it instead of either staying on his line or just actually coming towards the player who scored, then it goes to penalties. So
that's what I think Mark Hughes wanted, penalties.
I think it's fine margins in terms of
that 10-15%. That's all it was.
I think Hughes probably did settle for penalties, which I've no problem with people having an opinion and dissecting his choices on the day. I've no problem with that. He got it wrong, I think, in terms of how the match progressed. Does anyone else have an opinion? So we're kind of raking over the coals a little bit on the Carlisle game, but does anyone have an opinion on
do you want to talk about the FA Cup?
The FA Cup on Saturday?
Go for it.
So to everyone, my question is to everyone, Bradford City fans, we've got Wickham at home. What would it mean to you guys? Would you like to progress in the competition, get a bigger club? What's your thoughts on the FA Cup?
I hope we win against Wickham and get a bigger team.
Draw.
But I think we're going to get nowhere as it stands as a club at the minute, because obviously we've got no manager, and the club, and I've seen a lot on social media, people planning protests and stuff. We'll go into that in a bit, but just about FA Cup and stuff, crack on with it.
Why not?
If it's me, you support your club through thick and thin, don't you? Absolutely support them through thick and thin, through the ups and downs. Like a lot of us have. God, I can't even speak. A lot of us.
Teeth are falling out.
This is what working nights does for you. Yeah, you've got to support them through thick and thin, and that's why 22 or whatever thousand turned up the other day, isn't it? I mean, we were doing well, but look, what about? I mean, I've been studying grounds over years in storms and getting piss wet through, and even losing 4-5-0 to some teams, but you still stand there and still clap them. And maybe I'm called a happy clapper these days, but I don't care. Because they're my team.
What's all this thing I've seen on social media about? Is it if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Albion Sports AFC? That season ticket.
Albion Sports FC. Yeah. Apparently, Johnny, they were saying that some Bradford fans will go there, boycott the Wickham game, and go and watch them at the Horsefall game, because they're charging Bradford City fans half price entry, so it'll be probably about £3-4 or whatever it is. It's like, why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to support your own club? Good luck to Albion Sports, but Bradford City game is a Bradford City game. Do you get me?
So I'll be there on Saturday, and I'm even going tomorrow as well.
I'm there tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll be there Saturday, but obviously I work nights, so I can't make tomorrow. But if I weren't working, I would have drove up to that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't understand this boycotting is not going to do
what
nothing.
What does it do? It doesn't help your club. It doesn't support your club. It doesn't financially support your club, does it?
Yeah. If they're going to boycott, they should have done it ages ago. Why are they going to do it now? It's not going to change.
Just like on social media, people are planning to buy tennis balls and stuff, it seems like, from Amazon.
Like the Hull City situation.
Didn't another team do that with the tennis ball?
Hull City did it many years ago, Cali.
Reading did it this season.
I have seen some this season, yeah.
And Sheffield Wednesday done it as well.
Yeah, they did.
What's the deal with the tennis balls?
Just throw them onto the pitch and protest.
So it postpones it a little bit.
Might as well hire Andy Murray to hit him into the crowd. As long as he signs them.
Hey, we might get more balls in the net that way.
So what's obviously from what I can gather from you guys, that you're kind of against this sort of thing, because ultimately we're City fans, and we want our club to do well, and these people may want the club to do well, but they've got a funny way of kind of
they've got a different way of going about it, and
I think as well. So with things like this, he's kind of like, well, they're going to do that. How do they think it's going to affect the players? How do they think if a new manager comes in, that's one more thing that he shouldn't have to deal with regards to preparing a team, etc.
So Alex, Alex
Go ahead,
has just put the idea is the only way to get the message to the higher ups is to put the money where their mouth is. It's not about financial support in your club. It's about not financially supporting Roop.
Okay, fair enough. Good opinion. I like that.
Okay, but with that, so Rupp has put millions into buying the club. He kind of we've made signings. We've invested. We if Verdane Oliver, sort of like would have come in and it was down, sort of put down as like it's a, I don't know, it was a transfer fee of 300,000. It's a different narrative, and so I also as well. It's, as somebody said on Twitter, it's not a great business model if you're having to rely on an owner to bail the club out when it's clear that a lot of these signings, especially last year and stuff, were made on the back of very good commercial deals, and that the club should, I'm not saying they should rely on it, and I'm not saying that Rupp shouldn't make some kind of investment, but at the same time, you've got to get that balance. And what do the fans want? It's kind of in terms of how do they think there isn't investment. I'm just putting this out there as playing devil's advocate. How do they? I'll actually, a very good example. Last season or the season before, the club's accounts were released, and the club was something like £300,000 down. And do you know what that was? The reason for that was
during COVID. Was it something to do with that?
No, it was sacking Derek Adams.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
So
that just makes me hate him even more.
Well, but at the same time, did people think that sacking Hughes was going to be cost free? That it wasn't going to cost them probably 400,000 or 500,000. They've got to pay his contract out. They've got to pay Glenn Hodges' contract out. So there's a literal cost to these things, and in doing that, we're no further forward. At the moment, we're a rudderless ship, so it's kind of like I think in some respects people kind of make comments as if it's the computer game Championship Manager and you just go buy a player, or that things are just simple. Oh, go get a 20 goal a season, man. Well, where do you think you're going to get a 20 goal a season player from? And
it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
And will they want to play for us?
Well, exactly. You've got to negotiate. So I think people see these things thinking that they are playing, let's say, a Championship Manager.
True,
and the way they come out with some of the comments, I think. I mean, I don't know what it takes to run a club, and I'm sure none of us do, really.
No.
What do people on here think about actually buying, the fan base buying our actual club? What do people think about that?
Ooh, I would love to if I had to spare 11 million adding under my bed sheets, but it's
with lottery. I would.
Do you know what, Diane? I would absolutely buy it.
I would. Yeah,
Cali
bring
and
the
Diana
lottery, I
joint
would
owners.
do.
That's it.
We should do what Portsmouth did though. Don't know if anyone's seen the documentary on Amazon. Can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's about Amazon, and they've been under. Obviously, they went into administration twice. They're up shit
It was under
creek,
that Granier.
and then eventually the supporters trust
handbook.
bought the club, and then I think they had it for like 2 years or something. Then they sold it to some American dude who's I think now improving the ground and stuff. But with our problem, we don't own the ground and we don't own our training facility.
No.
Gordon Gibbs has got honey's.
Exactly. And the thing is as well, is Gibb or his pension fund are under no obligation to sell that to us.
They're not. And he's not going to sell it anytime soon. It's like gold dust in terms of profit to him. Do you think?
You know what I mean? It's like it's all right saying buy the ground, but you can only buy it if they're willing to sell.
And it looks like he's tried, Stefan, but they're not.
Do you think that's part of the problem that's going on behind the scenes that us fans don't really know about? Do you think that's part of it?
I think there's so many things that the fans don't know about. I think just based on that, kind of buying the club, but well, you're only going to buy the club if they're going to sell, and at what price are they? It's the same thing with Rupp. Yeah. Rightly or wrongly, he's going to sell the club at a price that he feels he's entitled to sell it
How much has Stefan Rupp played for Bradford City, from what you guys know? 6 million.
About 6 million.
And apparently he wants about 10, 12 million, from what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but that's what people are saying.
I think he's put quite a bit of money in though, hasn't he? Wise, like I know we've not bought a lot of players, but who is it? Michaels, but don't forget some of the garbage that we've signed under agents. So paying agent fees.
I think he means under gent. I think it probably means under gent. I think that's probably the autocorrect.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But at the same time, the garbage. But then we've also signed. The majority of players have played well or have been a success. It's been a mixed bag, but I think, and especially at this level, any kind of number of players. Don't forget, we signed 18 players last summer, and I mean, I would agree. For me, this season the jury's out on our summer signings. Too early to say.
Which ones do you think they're out on? Which kind of names that we've signed out of this court?
Well, I think
in particular.
So let's go through them one at a time because I can't remember. Ash Taylor, I think he's a net negative. I think he's okay for against maybe a couple of big clubs like Wrexham.
Yeah, that's it.
But anyone with a bit of pace or movement, he's I've got a glass back and I'm I can turn quicker than Ash Taylor can.
Yeah. Okay.
So who else did we sign? So we signed
Clark Adwa. Let's come to him. Very
hit and miss. He's had a couple of good games, and I think there is time for him to kind of improve.
Right.
But what do you guys think?
Clark Adwa. What do I think? He's okay. He's not bad. He can only get better, but he needs to show more confidence on the ball and get running at his fullback because he's got the ability to beat anyone on the outside and the inside. We've seen that in glimpses, haven't we? But again, what is his best position? Is it right wing? Is it as a 10? Is it left back? Is it left wing? There's a variety number of positions that he can play in.
Well, it's clearly not left back because I believe he said he's not left back, even though he was brought in as a left wing back, and so I think
right wing
question marks have to be on that one. So Patterson, I think
quality
injury aside, quality signing,
class, energy, drive, hunger, something like that we've been lacking in the middle.
And somebody actually scoring goals from midfield as well.
He's got 3 already in the season.
Yeah, just wait. Hopefully he comes back from injury soon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Got 19 goals for Harrogate in the last 2 seasons in all comps, yes.
So then we've got Tyler Smith.
I thought he would have done a bit better at this stage, but I still believe there's something in that in the lad who's played in the Championship for a couple of years.
He's got potential, hasn't he?
He's got pace. He can get in behind, and he works hard when he comes on. But he's been played out of position at times, coming on the left wing. What's that about? He's been playing as a number 10 at times. I want to see him up top if he does get the opportunity. And probably a game like tomorrow will do him the world of good.
I think based on what you said, Raj, I think when he's playing up there on his own, he's not a kind of hold it up type of forward. He's an off the shoulder kind of player, so he's probably better with actually a Cook up there with him.
Oliver, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, saying that, he did play well at Wrexham away, and but then Walker was quite advanced in that role as well. So that's is that 4 off the top of my head. So who's the next one? Are we going on? Have we got any more permanent signings?
We've got one for you here, Stan. This is from Michael Brett. Come on, Stan.
Yeah.
We have stuck money into Osadena, paid Pooler fee, long-term deal, and then they ostracise him.
Odesina, yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. So exactly. So we have put money into the side, haven't we? There's been investment. I mean, I don't know what the point you're making, because I don't mean that in a kind of passive aggressive way. You know, can you elaborate on that? Sorry, because I mean, it's very difficult, because last season we had Platt, we had Roms, and we had Stubbs come in, and of the back
here and then
of the middle two, you could have had any combination of those, and you would have been happy enough with that. If you don't forget how many clean sheets we had last season. I mean, for me, I'm a big fan of Ryan East as well. And
he's fast to see the goal the other day.
Yes. Is that the point you're making, that we've, Michael, that we've basically signed players and we're not playing them? Is that...
Is Timmy on loan at Woking right now? He is, isn't he? That's where he's gone. Timmy Odesina's at Woking on loan, isn't he? Am I right?
Who's that, sorry?
Timmy Odesina is on loan at Woking, isn't he?
Yes, and East is at Rochdale.
Rochdale, yeah, on loan with Adam Clark.
I would like to see East come back at...
well, hopefully January. Bring him back.
January, yeah. I mean, we've got the lad Tomkinson.
He needs a chance. He hasn't even been given a try.
Absolutely.
He's got a bit of pace. We're lacking pace at centre back.
I think so.
Timmy was another one who should never have gone walking, should have been given a chance this season. We're lacking pace, and they're the two that can play there. But if Tomkinson, if the new manager comes in, hopefully he'll get that chance.
So I'm going to start rounding it down now, guys and girls. So obviously we're going to do a space again on Friday if you want to join that. But
what time will that be?
That'll be 7 p.m. Okay. And that'll be with, hopefully, myself, Stan, if he's about, and same with Kelly.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So just going to get, what do you think the score will be tomorrow?
2-1 Bradford.
Kelly?
I don't really like predicting anymore. I think
after
we're going to lose tomorrow, if I'm honest. I'm just being honest. I think we're going to lose probably 3-1. I think we'll lose.
Stan always sits on the fence. What score do you reckon it's going to be tomorrow?
Dan, don't do it.
I'm carrying on with my tradition of not making a prediction. I'm doing my Trevor Brooking, and I'm not making a prediction. So.
Don't you're going to give one.
I'm going to think we're going to win on penalties, and I think we're going to go through.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. We'll contravene on Friday.
They'll be a good little team. Then they'll be popping it apart like Pep.
Yeah, I'll just say let's hope we win.
Yeah, that's it. And then we can play the Barnsley game stressful.
Yeah.
Pleasure, guys.
Right.
Thank you, Johnny. And can I just say, Johnny, thank you for all your hard work doing this week in, week out. It's appreciated.
No problems. Right. So it's time to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thanks for listening. Also, this will be on our podcast later on today. So you can watch it on the way to the game tomorrow, or if you're listening to it, also on YouTube. Thanks for listening, everybody. Good night.
Brought us glory days.